Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to Utility Sports. What an incredible game between the Utah Jazz and the Los Angeles Clippers in Game 5 here. Of course, no Kawhi Leonard, still no Mike Conley for the Utah Jazz. This series heading back to LA with a 3-2 advantage for the Clippers. Before we jump into my thoughts on Game 5 itself, I want to urge you guys, hit that like button if you do enjoy the content we've been posting here at Utility Sports. Also, subscribe if you are new to Utility Sports. It'd mean a lot to have your guys' support moving forward. We're up over 3,000 subscribers, and we want to keep growing with you guys, having the best fan base and community that we can establish here on YouTube. You guys go such a long way in helping us do our thing here at Utility Sports. So thanks again for all the support. And now let's jump into the conversation here about the Clippers versus the Jazz. Let me share the screen here with the game stats itself. And the Clippers here pulled out a 119-111 victory over the Utah Jazz in Game 5. Earlier today, I posted a video talking about Kawhi Leonard, his ACL injury, and I said this series isn't over. The Clippers are a dangerous team. They still have a top 10 player in the world, in my opinion, in Paul George, and he showed it tonight. A lot of you guys are going to see the thumbnail I made for this video, and you guys are going to probably need one of those vouchers because without Kawhi Leonard, Paul George did his thing all night long. He ended up with, I believe, 37 points, 16 rebounds, rather, and 5 assists in 40 minutes. He was the fuel to this Clippers team tonight. They needed every little bit that he gave them, and he did it all night long. Also, a big-time shout-out to Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson. The two of them balled out as well. But this was all Paul George. He closed the game out clutch and won over Royce O'Neal as well. And a lot of you guys out there, maybe not you specifically who I'm talking to right now, but there's a lot of people out there that I could tell are casuals the moment they wrote off Paul George. Paul George is an absolute bucket. He's one of the best players in the NBA. He's got an incredibly smooth handle. He's a very underrated passer, still one of the top two-way wings in the NBA. Phenomenal on defense, and he's a phenomenal shot creator. Part of the issue last year in the bubble was he wasn't getting utilized properly, was out of rhythm. That's why they made the coaching change from Doc Rivers to Ty Lue, and we're seeing it pay dividends in this playoffs. Ty Lue's empowering Paul George to go and make plays, and without Kawhi Leonard tonight, that's all Paul George did all night long. The ball was in his hands. He's got a sneaky handle. He's really incredible at splitting screens. And a lot of these casuals were writing off Paul George all year long. Ever since the bubble last year, they were saying that this guy is pandemic P, playoff P with a little bit of sarcasm to that. PG 13%, a whole bunch of other names. Sorry, guys, but you don't get to jump onto the hype train now at this point because he's playing great basketball, hasn't scored less than 20 points all playoffs, and comes out with a 37-point performance in a Game 5 on the road against the number 1 seed in the NBA. This is legend-type stuff. Paul George cementing his legacy here. This is the most points he scored since he was in Indiana as a Pacer, and he deserves all the credit tonight. Morris and Reggie Jackson also really big. It's a team effort, of course, but he played like a superstar. I believe he's a superstar, and anyone who doesn't, I think this should probably maybe look at other things for hobbies, honestly, because if you look at Paul George using the eye test, there's so many things he does well still in the NBA. Incredible shot creator, like I mentioned. Great passer, phenomenal defender, and a very, very good handle. Manipulates the pick and roll so well. There's a lot of things Paul George really does great, and he showed it all tonight for the Utah Jazz. And Donovan Mitchell, a little bit of a down night for him. Scored 21 points. Didn't shoot the ball well. I believe it was 6 of 19 from the field. Whereas Paul George was 12 of 22. He shot very efficiently tonight, hit and made some really tough shots as well throughout this game. I want you guys to put some respect on this man right here, Paul George. One of those vouchers, you guys could get one off of my Twitter, which is funny because you guys might be needing them because there's a lot of Paul George slanderers out there. I just think that he's gotten really, really written off for absolutely no reason. The guy's a star player still in the NBA. He deserves the credit that he gets. I'm glad he was All-NBA third team. He deserved that this year. The Clippers are dangerous. Even without Kawhi Leonard, I think they're a very good team. With Kawhi Leonard, they're a team that we could be talking about hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy later this summer. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Utility Sports so you don't miss out on all the future NBA content here. Again, massive shout out to Paul George. Played his heart out tonight, and deserves all the credit. If you're a casual or if you wrote off Paul George, I bet you're feeling a little silly right now. He's been great all playoffs long. Was phenomenal tonight. Arguably his best playoff game since he was in Indiana against LeBron James and that Miami Heat team. PG-13 in full effect tonight was absolutely phenomenal. Thanks, guys, so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.